Welcome to the History Help channel. Today we are studying about historical method and historiography. Historical method and historiography, we are studying in four sections: history, historical methodology, historiography, and Indian historiography. We've already studied about history in our previous playlist called as history. Today we are focusing more on historical methodology. So in historical methodology, we are focusing on research. So today in this video, we will be looking into the qualifications of a researcher, how to select a research topic when you become a researcher, why should we do research? Okay. So let us focus on why should we do research. So research is generally done because you want to find something new. So new data. So suppose during 19th century there were a lot of things we didn't know. We did not know about certain time periods. We did not know about certain rulers. So there was a lot of things to unearth. There was a lot of things to be found out. So this is something called as new data. So if you are in Karnataka and if you want to talk about Gangas, the Ganga dynasty was in the 7th 8th century. So maybe you want to find out about a new king or a new dynasty. So this constitutes new data. The other reason why we do research is to find out new interpretation. So what does this mean? For example, 1857 revolt. Some scholars interpreted the 1857 revolution as first war of independence. Some scholars interpreted the 1857 revolution as a soldier mutiny. They did not agree with it being a war of independence. So you as a researcher may want to add a different angle to it, may want to add a different perspective to it. So that is called as new interpretation. For example, you can also take the case of Ashoka. Now, Ashoka did a lot of edicts during his lifetime. So, some scholars say that the edicts are his way or his method of telling about his religious policy, that is, toleration, non-violence, and all. But you, as a researcher, might not agree with this. You may find that these edicts are found in a lot of trade routes. So you want to research and tell that installed these edicts to prove how mighty his kingdom was or how friendly his kingdom was. So you may want to give a different interpretation to this Ashokan messages. So either you do it to do new data or new interpretation. The final reason why we have to do research is finalizing a theory. So suppose you are interested in battles, you study World War One, you study World War Two, and then you realize that if after every major battle there is a peace movement happening. So maybe that is a theory. So you study every major battle and you try to bring up a theory that after every major battle there is a peace movement. So that is a theory. Another example is Karl Marx. Karl Marx gave an economic interpretation to all things happening in history. So either be it wars, be it finding new trade routes, be it colonialism, be it imperialism, or be it industrial revolution. He said every major event in history had a economic reason behind it. Why did the colony? Why did the England and other countries set up colonies? To obviously to get new markets or to get raw materials. So all these have a economic reason behind it. So Karl Marx gave his materialistic interpretation of history, which is his theory or Marxism or Marx theory. So maybe you want to do research to find a theory. So once you have decided you want to be a researcher, what are the qualifications of a researcher? First, it is not necessary that he be a historian. For example, Comte or Kosambi were historians, but they were maths. While Comte had a maths professor, Kosambi was an engineer, but still they were historians. So one of the first qualifications of a researcher is that he should be ready to do a lot of hard work. The reason is when you are trying to do research, the sources may be scattered in various other places. It may be in different languages. So you should be ready to spend time, money, also photostat, microfilm, all these sources and come up with um, your research materials. So you should be ready to do hard work. The second qualification is moralistic. Moralistic means a honesty. So most of the times we see that either the researcher has exaggerated things, or he has criticized things, or he has praised a ruler, or he has criticized a ruler. There is no balance in all this. So if you want to be a researcher, you should have a balanced state of mind, and you should be able to present the facts well and properly, in a balanced way. Okay. The third, this one of a researcher is he should be calm. He cannot do hasty work. See, once you do your research and publish it, nobody will ask you how many years you took, but they will definitely judge you for the quality of the work. So it may take 5 years, 6 years, 12 years. So you should never be hasty or do hasty work. The focus should be on the quality. Next comes intellectual caliber. This means judging things properly. You should have a lot of common sense. You are going into the past, you are trying to fill up the gaps, you are trying to narrate events. So you should be objective, no bias should be there, and you should be able to present the facts in a proper way. Also, you should have good imagination. Also, you should have the courage to come forward and make your own theories. This is what it means with when we say intellectual caliber. Now, the final point is there are some risks that a researcher should avoid. What are those three risks? One is loss of power of work. What is this? It means if you, as a researcher, you will submit your work to a scholar to review. Now, if the scholar criticizes your work, then you may stop working. You may be scared to take the next step. So, what happens? There is a loss of power of work. So, this is one of the risks. Second risk is hypercriticism. What does this mean? So you as a researcher, you have got a lot of materials. Instead of looking at the materials in a balanced way, you start seeing danger in it. You start criticizing it. You look into each of the resource critically, hypercritically. So this is called as hypercriticism. So this is also a risk. Third risk is dilettantism. What does this mean? You, as a researcher, suppose you have done your work and then submitted it to a scholar. Now, the scholar is playing a game. He criticizes the work just for the sake of criticism. He feels he has to criticize, so he criticizes. So, this type of risk is called as dilettantism. All these three work: loss of power, hypercriticism, dilettantism stops you from doing good work. Okay, so these are the qualifications of a researcher. You should be ready to do hard work, you should be moralistically honest, you should be calm, he should have the intellectual caliber, and he should try to avoid these three risks. Now we come to the final question: how to select a research topic. So for this, uh, first of all, you should have interest. If you do not have interest, you will not continue the research topic. Second is you should find out if there are sources available. Suppose you take a topic on India and you find out there are too many sources, or you do not have too much time. I mean, you do not have so much time, or you have to travel a lot, or you find that the sources are in a different language, then it will be a waste of time for you. So you find out something which you are able to study, research in the given frame of time, and only then you can do a justice to a particular research topic. Third is limited. Limited means now you can't take a very vast topic like India or Mughal history and all that, because, as I said earlier, there's a lot of sources there and you need require a lot of time. Instead, you should focus your research topic. So, say you are from Karnataka, so it makes sense for you to talk about a Bangalore dynasty or a Mysore ruler, where you can do justice, because the topic is limited in nature. Finally, when you are trying to select a research topic, you should know what is the outcome of it. Whether your research will be a report. Report means simple presentation of all the facts. Okay. Or your research will be a thesis. Thesis means you are formulating your own data on it. You are formulating your own formula on it. You are formulating your own statement to it. So, is your research going to be a presentation, report, or is it going to be a thesis? Once again, there are risks here too. What are the risks? One is the guide that you select may be ignorant of this topic, or he may be egoistic. He may not be ready to help you. So this is one of the risks that a researcher has to face. Secondly, you may find out that a problem that you have taken for your research does not exist at all. You thought in the beginning it existed, you started studying, and then you realized the problem is not there at all. So this is also another risks. Third type of problem is duplication. Suppose you as a researcher are working on a topic, there is another person also working on the same topic. So either you have to chuck this problem out, or you have to take a new topic, or for the same topic you can try to think of a new perspective. So this is also, duplication is also a risk. So that this week, from this we come to the end of this slideshow. Next video will be on analytical operations. Thank you.